Hey,
Hey, it's Monday.
it's Monday, y'all. We here to talk some shit, have some fun, and
Yes,
get all
indeed.
up in y'all business. How about that?
Absolutely.
Mm, 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 mm.
How you doing? How y'all feeling?
Yeah, how you doing? What you drinking, Gypsy? Because I know you were sipping on something, sipping on
This
something.
is a hot toddy, honey.
Hot toddy, okay. What you got
Sis,
in there?
sis is not feeling good. So I make my hot toddy special. I use green tea, honey. I drop a couple halls in there and some E&J. Oh, I forgot the
Hey,
lemon.
you
But
forgot the
that's
what?
okay. I usually put lemon in there too, but I forgot the lemon. I was like, why is it tasting different? Yeah, I forgot the
I
lemon.
got you. What you sipping on, Sean?
Today I got some blue flame.
What the heck is it?
That's moonshine.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay then.
That reminds me.
That's the one with the fruit in it, cause my niece
Mm.
drank the one with the fruit in it, and I was like, fruit.
It
She
be
said,
good.
yeah, she be like getting like the pineapple and all different kinds of flavors, and I was like,
It be
I
good.
said, you don't eat the fruit, do you? She said, the fuck I don't.
Yeah, trust me, it's gonna get you. It's gonna get you there
It's gonna
even
get
more.
you
You
right.
know.
First of all, you had some last year. Somebody made you for your birthday, didn't you, Gypsy?
That wasn't moonshine. That was vodka. They know I drink vodka, and
Oh, it
so
was moonshine. Okay.
they put vodka in a jar for me,
Yeah.
and yeah, hooked it up.
Well, if you're local in the Beham area, two of my fave people in this space, two of my students, they are amazing in the kitchen. They do all of it, the edibles, the moonshine, the flavors, all the things. They will get you right. One of them made some, I think it was blackberry moonshine. By the way, it is still in my fridge because I took like a couple of sips of it and I was good. This was
Oh
like
wow,
this was I was gonna say about 4 months, maybe 6 months ago. Yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. It
The
took me
last
that long
time,
to drink my little jar of vodka.
yeah, the last time I tried day stuff, I could not walk, but I was crawling to the bathroom. This is the one I told y'all I tried the edible cookies and nobody told me. And I was on my knees crawling to the bathroom for 2 days because I could not stand up. I said, I
Nobody
ain't.
Mm,
told you they was
mm.
edibles, like real edibles. Oh, okay.
They like it was some, I think it was chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies. And I didn't know. I had never done any of that before. I just bought two cookies and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm supposed to eat them. So I ate both cookies.
The whole cookie,
The, both whole
and you
cookies.
survived. Oh Lord, hey Jay.
Dying.
Let me fix the camera. Uh,
Yes. I thought I was dying. I
Mm-mm.
thought somebody had pulled the okey doke on me for real. I ate them on a Sunday afternoon at like 12 o'clock
When'd you
and
wake
could
up? Tuesday.
not.
When'd you wake up? Tuesday.
Like Wednesday morning. I was literally like leaning to the floor because my bed sits up high. So I was leaning out of the bed, put my hands on the floor, sliding down to the floor, crawling to the bathroom, crawling back to the bed, and crawling up in the bed till Wednesday morning. I was like, I'm good. Y'all ain't not cool.
Well,
Supposed to eat the whole thing.
yeah.
I
If
ain't know
there's
that
if
at the time.
there's
I know it now.
if there's anybody out there that don't know that, when if you experiment with edibles, start out with a small piece, give it
Yeah,
some time, see how you feel, and do it in
Yeah.
small quantities.
yeah.
Don't eat the whole brownie. Don't eat two whole cookies.
See,
Take
and
it
see this
easy.
this how you know folk in the church be doing shit because I met them at a women's conference. And that's why I bought the cookies because everybody up in there when I walked in there was like, oh my God, because they had got them all Saturday. So when I walked in Sunday, all the ladies was like, girl, I need some more of them cookies. You got some more of them brownies? And they was grabbing them and giving them. So I was like, well, I guess I'll get some cookies. Didn't ask no questions, just bought the cookies, went home. And I was like, okay, well, I guess
The
I
church
mean, they was,
ladies got you.
baby,
Had their little fan going, their little Martin Luther King fan, and they said, "You need to buy some cookies for the building fund."
baby. That's how you know them ladies be getting it in. You hear me? Because they was all
They
just
wasn't always saved.
baby, and they sold out. I promise you, they had big old totes full of them and sold out. I was like, y'all be getting food?
Wait, they selling weed in church? Oh,
I
never
ain't say
mind.
all that.
Okay, no. Okay, well,
I ain't say all that. I
yeah,
didn't say it was in
okay.
church. I said it was a women's conference.
They selling weed in church. It was a church function. They selling weed in church.
Hey Jasmine, how you doing,
Ooh,
boo? Hey
child.
Brittany, thank you for tuning
Yeah,
in. Hey Suzette, we missed you, girl.
yep.
Brittany said, hell no, I don't do them anymore. I saw Harriet Tubman. Listen,
Oh,
I
hell no, not Harriet Tubman.
you ain't
See, I
never
did,
got to worry about me. You understand? They be talking about the
I'm
Skittles
trying
and
to
the
fix my
seeds.
camera, y'all. Y'all see.
Nah, go ahead and take a trip. Cause no, baby, I was flying and I couldn't land the plane. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
uh,
Mm-mm.
always about you. Hey, girl.
Hey, welcome.
And then
Go
Jasmine
on, let's
said,
go
"Call me
see
Big Jesus."
Grease.
Listen, cause I swear, y'all, I was in the tunnel with the light. I was like, Jesus, I won't do it again. If you say it.
I'm just shocked that they was boy, they had everybody speaking in tongues.
I ain't never said it was up in a church building. What I said was it was a women's
Not
conference
a women's
back in the
conference, I
hotel.
know, but they had everybody speaking in tongues. Now they didn't say what
Baby.
tongue, but they were
And I'm
speaking
talking
in
about
tongues,
that's why I
baby.
was like, okay, I'll try it because when I tell you them women, I saw them when they first walked in, and those women descended on them, and I was like, what y'all got? I'm good. But anyway, Sean, tonight was a
We
topic
find
woo,
out
to talk about. Continue
the deal
laughing,
at the women's conference.
baby. All I'm gonna say is the ladies of the church be getting it in. They be the freakiest ones. They be doing the most.
We already
Okay.
knew that.
They
We
be doing
already knew
because a
that.
lot of the toys I be finding out about, I be finding out from my Christian friends. And a lot of the little songs to put on my playlist, I be finding out from my little Christian friends. I girl, oh, you
Well,
nasty.
you know what that is. I mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And look, I ain't mad at them because I ain't never seen nowhere in the Bible where you can't enjoy yourself. As my friend likes to remind
No,
me, the marriage
no.
is undefiled.
Listen,
I
they
you better
did
get it, girl.
they did everything. They did everything with it.
Anywho,
all,
Sean,
all,
you wanted to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
no, all
Huh?
I'm saying is, God forgives. So, whatever you
Hey,
do, just go to church.
Hey, and he made them herbs. We just
the
learn
kids
how
said
to
I
use
just
them
got
different ways.
delivery, and they're so helpful. I don't sleep well, and they let me sleep for 8 hours, and I haven't slept like that in years. Jasmine said, "You dapping God and said, what's up, baby?" I was at the gates, y'all hear me? Okay, like Jesus, I won't do it again. I ain't
That's
promised, but I said I wouldn't do it again.
right.
But Sean, you wanted to talk about the vibe check based off of last week's conversation. Um, and did you forget, kind sir? Do you remember what we were talking about?
The vibe.
Yeah, y'all gotta refresh my memory.
Oh Lord,
Oh,
you ate brown and cereal.
A lot has transpired since last week.
Hey
you know
Jason.
everything. Hey, Jason. Okay, so last week, y'all know we was talking plenty of shit and talking about all the things in between as we normally do. We never stay on topic. We always go left. And
Right.
at the end of the episode when we were decompressing for a minute, Sean, you were saying that you wanted to go in depth. Oh, and that reminds me, we got a comment. I forgot to put it in the thing, but I'm gonna read it because I feel like I need to clear up something I said last week because somebody was trying to dap me up for it, and I think they got the wrong understanding of what I was trying to say. But Sean, you wanted to talk about the vibe because a lot of the times the things that we experience sexually or romantically or emotionally in our relationships can be prevented or deepened by the conversations we had. Like we can't be afraid to have those conversations. So you were wanting to go more in depth from the man's perspective and talk about some of the questions you feel like we need to be asking. and conversations we need to be having.
But wait,
So
time out for a second.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, but now I've known Sean over 30 years. Sean is different because most men don't have these open, in-depth conversations like Sean does. Sean doesn't. Sean don't care. You take it or leave it. You don't like it, then bye. Get the hell on.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Now, again, I think it's based on who we are, what we demand, and what we ask for, and what we hold space for. I talk for a living. I will not exist in a relationship where my partner does not communicate with me. Like, that's just anything I'm finna do. So I've never been in a relationship where that man wasn't having conversation with me and asking me questions and engaging. Because if I dated somebody that was acting like that, it's easy for me to cut you and keep moving on. So I don't know that Sean is in the minority. I feel like we believe the hype with the social media stuff and all the craziness in the songs, but I tend to think that there are a lot of emotionally evolved and emotionally regulated and emotionally healthy men. That don't mean they ain't got shit,
but those kind of men are the minority, because when I have general conversation with a lot of guys,
that's crazy.
Most of the time, the response that I'm getting, even though it's just us talking with you, we should be able to be more real with each other. They still are thinking along a fucked up line of thinking, in my opinion. Now, I don't fault nobody. Like, yo, you do you. Whatever work for you, work for you. But
So what do you think that is? Do you think that is? And I want to ask this question before I go back to the comment that I got.
Right. So hold on, wait. I gotta say this. This is the second time you done did that, Jason. It's SEAN. Jason. SEAN.
Jason, if you don't spell his name right, he is not gonna answer you. That's a girl spelling.
That is not a girl spelling. I done seen
it is the girl spelling.
That's the girl spelling right there.
Thanks.
Oh my Lord.
His name is spelled SEAN.
That man can talk for himself.
Well, he has told this nigga to be more than once.
That man can talk for himself.
I spelled it for him. He didn't tell him more than once. He tell him every week.
And the reason I'm calling you out on it is because I feel like that's part of the problem with men who don't speak up. Not saying you, but oftentimes women are picking up the slack. Mama is still washing grown 30-year-old clothes and doing fuck shit for their grown ass kids. And girlfriend and wife is acting like that's her baby and her son instead of her man. So a lot of these men that may not be emotionally mature, they ain't never had to be. I promise you, the only men I've dated that couldn't communicate like that, when I looked, it was always a mama or a line of ex-girlfriends in the past that did everything for them. So you just gave us a real life example. Love you, boo. But stop that. He a grown ass man. He can talk for himself.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. First of all, it's probably the military training in me. I'm one of those that if we didn't told you more than once, that's too many times.
I understand, but he a grown man.
I understand it,
and he can talk for himself.
I understand it too.
I mean, I had already said my piece. I mean,
so Gypsy, you stop intervening. Stop it, okay? Stop it.
But most of the time, what really and I know this is gonna sound fucked up, but most of the time, what really be happening is a lot of men don't know how to communicate because they're not taught that, because they were brought up in toxic masculinity. And so you push shit down, you keep shit down, you mask your feelings. But then the flip side of that is when a guy, even though he may not know how to communicate, when he tries to, it's like, you mad about something, what did I do? You know what you did. And it's like, if I knew, I wouldn't be asking you. I'd be trying to talk about what I did because I already know what I did. And a lot of men deal with that regularly.
Okay, so I'm going to say, so let me catch up on these comments, and then I got two things I want to throw out there for y'all to tell me what you think. Sean said, my bad. Jason said Sean's voice too smooth to get loud.
Right, because you notice he still don't never get loud. He just be like,
I told you
Well,
men spell it that way too. He said he got a homeboy named Sean. Y'all,
no,
y'all.
I didn't say men don't
I
spell
very
it like
rarely,
that.
all the Seans that I know that are men spell it Sean, and the
Gotcha.
ones that are women, like all my girlfriends that are named Sean, is Shawn.
Yeah, I'm not
I've never
saying
met a
men
woman
don't.
named Sean like that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
weird.
I mean,
But
but the SHAW is normally the female
the
spelling,
feminine.
but
Hmm.
but then there's a SHUAN.
Right.
So yeah, so that's I've met women with that. So two things. One, I want to correct. I don't want to. I want to clarify something that I said last week. So the comment that I got, and my apologies, y'all. I forgot to put it in the group chat. But the comment, somebody messaged me that was watching the podcast, a woman, and she was like, "Jay, you better tell them, cause nigga, we the motherfucking prize." I feel like I understood what she was trying to dap me up and say, but I want to clarify what I was saying because I don't want to make it feel like men are not being bringing greatness to the table, to the relationship, right? The reason that I was looking, and she said a little bit more, but that's the gist of it. The reason that I was looking sideways when Sean was like, and men are the prize too, and I was like, whatever, I'm the prize, is because for me, I don't really entertain a conversation where I gotta tell a man I'm the prize, or a
Mhm.
man has to tell me he's the prize. A man that starts off a conversation with me like I'm a king or I'm an alpha or anything like that is already a man I don't really want to talk to, because I feel like if you got to proclaim it now here for the purpose of conversation and dialogue and all those things, I'll say certain things. But when I'm in conversation with someone that I'm getting to know or considering dating or being in a relationship or whatever with, if you got to start it off that way, you already lost me. Because how you carry yourself, how you display yourself should prove to me who you are. How I carry myself. I've literally never had to say to a man, I'm the prize, unless I was being a smart ass and facetious, right? Outside of joking, that's not a conversation that I even have. So I don't want it to seem like I'm saying that women are the only prize and men are just some fuck shit that we got to deal with. I'm not saying that at all. We both bring greatness to the experience, and it's up to each individual to figure out that dynamic and what that looks like. The second thing I want, well, y'all respond first, and then I'm gonna tell you the second thing I got a question about.
Okay, so if you the shit and you know that you the shit, then you the shit. You ain't gotta do shit. Just
Thanks.
be yourself. That's it. Cause people gonna realize, like, oh shit, they the shit. Just
Thanks.
by the vibe you give off. Now, when I said the men are the prize too, because if you don't feel, and that goes back to you the shit, because if you don't feel that way about yourself,
Yeah. It
then
comes
you done
across.
already lost. You done already lost. But you should
It comes
feel
across.
because ain't no other you. It's you. You the only you there is. So be you to the fullest.
Well, remember, Sean, when you were like, well, Jay, some guys, they're a little nervous when they shoot their shot and they be like, damn, you ain't got no man. Oh, okay. There was a difference in how you were saying it for somebody that might be insecure versus somebody like, damn, you ain't got, why you single? You ain't got a man. Oh, shit. There's a difference in how a man carries himself. I can't speak for all women, but that makes me pay attention. And I'm assuming men pay attention to some similar things, maybe not the
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing. But when you're trying to shoot your shot at somebody or you're trying to engage with somebody personally, possibly romantically or intimately, that's a real turnoff when you're coming across as insecure. You're seeking compliments, you're seeking validation. And that's the difference if I know that you just went through something or I just want to pour into you because I want to hype you up because that's who I am. But if that's how you're coming across to me, that it shuts the libido down, it just shuts everything down. So
But that cuts both ways.
I'm sure.
If you totally insecure, or if you just overly just boisterous and
Absolutely.
conceited, because confidence and being conceited are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And just because when you got confidence, you already know. Look, I'm leaving here with something.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? If that's what my goal is.
Right.
But if my
Well,
goal is just to chill, I'm just going to chill. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, something's still going to just be right there. That's
it's like
just
we
what it
talked about in
is.
the past. And I ain't saying women don't do it, but on past episodes, we talked about the fact that men will talk themselves out of pussy. Like you
Oh
can
no,
meet
that's
a man and be like, oh,
mhm,
okay. And the more he keep talking, you be like, never mind.
mhm,
Look, be like,
Because there
mhm.
is a difference
no,
between confidence and conceitedness, or confidence and arrogance.
gonna slip and fall. Lord mercy.
So the other reason that I wanted to offer a different perspective, my most recent relationship with my partner that we ended, we had to navigate our communication because I talk for a living. He was able to communicate, or should I say, I communicate for a living. He was able to communicate, but we had to figure out how to navigate the differences in my ability to be more present in the moment and his need to break it up because of the job that he had and the emotional drain that it caused, um, with everything that he was constantly being exposed to, every single day, the previous career that he had that took its emotional toll. And so we had to learn how to navigate our communication in a way that made sense for both of us, right? That being said, to sum it up, I learned how to meet him there and we made it both work. As I am dating now, I ain't never talked to men who talk so fucking much. And I had to ask my girlfriend, I was like, do all men talk like, because he had been in my life for so long and I was so used to him. I'd be on the phone like, God damn, they still talking. And I'm not saying that as a negative. Please don't take it that way. That's truly not what I mean. But my capacity had evolved based on being with him, right? You adjust to your person. So I had to ask her, I was like, yo, do men talk like this? And she was like, girl, yes.
They gossip like a motherfucker
And
now.
I ain't talking about gossiping. I'm talking about like,
They just talk, period, but they gossip too.
well, I'm not even talking about the gossiping thing. I'm talking about the actual communication necessary to get to know a person. So, for example, I have this one guy that I'm getting to know, and he'll literally be like, hey, let's jump on a call. And I'm like, sure. And he'll call me. And like an hour and a half later, I'm like, listen, dude, I am all out of my peopling time. It has been nice talking to you. But if I didn't put a stop to it and get off the phone, he would keep texting me and keep talking to me. And I count it a blessing that people want to talk to me. I do. But I'm having to rework my stamina for talking. Because once I'm done peopling professionally, I'm like, sure, I'm good. Let's check in and then I'm good. So I don't necessarily think that I can agree with you that the minority of men, because it's my experience that the majority of men that I am exposed to, they talk and they talk a lot about
So you,
meaningful things. Like they ask questions, they want to know about your background, they want to know your
so
experiences, your
so
mental capacity, all the things.
you attract the right kind of guy. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's just the kind of vibe you put out there because 9 times out of 10, like the majority of just guys that's just out here, they don't talk like that. If they do, they talking about some bullshit.
They
They are.
gossiping, like you said, and I do
They
agree,
just
man, just gossip.
they just are. And but on the other hand, though, you really do have to establish, especially in a relationship or somebody that you think about seeing seriously. You have to establish what your communication looks like.
Yeah.
But then there are people that are just not good at communication, and you have to pick up on it, and you have to learn how to talk to that person
Yeah.
to be able to have the kind of conversation you want to have.
Like I said, you have to navigate. With he and I, we learned how to navigate based on both of our needs, right? Based on what I needed and based on what he needed. And I think that's the sign of a healthy relationship. It can't be, I need this, so I demand this. It has to be, what do we both need? And where can we compromise in the middle to make that thing work? I see relationships as transactional. I've said that in the past. Um, Nigga, I am not talking about financially. And it can't be that.
Shit. I didn't say shit. I
I
didn't
see
say
you over there.
shit.
But I do feel like relationships are transactional. They are give and take, reciprocal, right? Um, but
All I
that
did
being
was
said,
smirk.
Jason, wait a minute. Jason said, I got a question. Maybe y'all have talked about it, but Gypsy, how? Ooh, I'm gonna
I
let
mean,
y'all tell that.
we met in Philly. It was a long
We
time
met
ago.
in Philly long time ago. I was stationed in Philly. He was living
Mhm.
in Philly.
That's how we met.
Oh, that's all y'all gonna say? Okay.
Yep.
You know what? And so, like I said, um, I don't know. I'm having to rework my emotional stamina to be available for people that talk a lot. Because by the time I shut down from the professional space, I'm like, yep.
And a lot of people don't understand that either. You know, especially when
Jasmine,
you have a
yes,
job, when you talk a lot. You don't really feel like talking when you get home. You just want
That
to
part.
Jasmine,
rest.
Oh my gosh, that
very true,
part.
Sean.
That part.
Jasmine, I'm with you. That's it. Go ahead and share the story. We got time. Y'all niggas want to talk about every damn thing else.
But I mean, we not here for that. We here for y'all to talk about stuff,
We here for
real stuff.
y'all. This
I don't
about y'all.
understand.
This about y'all.
Oh, you don't want to talk now? Okay. Anywho,
I don't like backstories. Backstories take up too
God,
much
That part is
time.
just too much. It's too
You
yeah.
know what I'm
much.
saying?
So
We
you
we
say,
we here to go forward and be in the present.
that being said, I agree with you, Sean. I think we have to be really aware of.
I can't stand Jasmine. My damn camera came down when I started laughing at her silly ass.
Because you know your ass just being trifling right now. But God, that's okay. That's okay. I'm with you, Jasmine. Listen, the J's are uniting, okay? But it's okay.
See, that's why my camera failed because it was like not with the
Because you
bullshit.
know you being a lying ass too. What Benny Shirt said with your lying ass. But that's okay though. That's okay though.
Ain't nobody
So
lying. There's truth in there.
th- y'all heard what she said, right? There's truth in there. But I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Sean, what did you want to talk about concerning the vibe tonight? What are you asking when you saying about the real vibe?
Um, I guess. Oh man, because I mean, like the vibe is like it's the whole thing. Like especially if you have an issue, say something when you have that issue.
Yeah.
Don't stockpile that shit and stockpile that shit and stockpile that shit. And now, like, I had no idea that whatever I was doing was offending you, but it was offending you. But I keep doing it because I have no clue. But it's something
Right.
I'm normally doing, like not thinking about it. And then you want to turn around and just fucking explode on me with a fucking megaton bomb when this could have been nipped in the bud a long ass time ago. You know what I'm saying? So that when I say the vibe, that's what I really mean. But that affects the communication and everything else within the situation.
Well, we gave that G classified answer, kind of like what they should have been doing when they was on that damn chat last week.
That
Oh,
signal.
the signal.
See, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. They lying asses. That's oh, that is okay. Hey, sure. Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.
Um,
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
yes. Commercial break. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. I can't show y'all the other hand because I broke a nail the other day. I gotta get them fixed tomorrow. But I want to give a shout out to my tech, Miss Anita, that owns Fantastic Nails downtown Birmingham. She be hooking a sister up, okay? I also want to give a shout out to Crystal that owns a cleaning uh for commercial and residential business. Listen, I'm trying to give all the local black businesses all the shout outs. Any people that
Yeah.
y'all want to give a hookup to in your area, Shauna Gypsy, before we move forward out of the commercial break?
Yes, yes, I do have a commercial break. If you're in the DC area, my goddaughter is a esthetician,
Lost it.
and you can
I don't know what I
actually
did.
find her on Lux Dolls, a Lux Aesthetic. She's on Instagram, but it's a Lux Aesthetic. I'm gonna actually give it to you in the background, and you can put it out front because you know
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
allow me to do the doesn't allow me to put it in there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
just
she does a great job. Her name is Ashari, so you might want to go on and get Ashari to come in and hook you up.
hey.
Yep, she actually just got a salon up there. She's a licensed esthetician, and yeah, she gives flawless Brazilian waxes and facials and all kinds of stuff.
I just popped the link in the comments.
All right.
I'll grab the link for Miss Anita's fantastic nails, for Crystal's cleaning
Mhm.
services. If you want her information and you're local in the area, just shoot us a message and I'm happy to share it with you. But if you know me, you know I've been shouting out Black businesses for like ever and a day since I've been on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And I want to make sure that we continue to shout out local Black businesses in our areas to always make sure that we hype our people up because we deserve that. That being said, Jasmine, I'm with you when you're right.
What was the vibe 30 years ago? Girl, your ass wasn't even thought of. You don't need to know no vibe.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, oh,
You wasn't even in a sperm swimming upstream yet.
Lord. That being said, I feel like going back to something Sean said, I want to make sure that we really talk about that a little bit because I think we overlook the fact that we all have an energetic and emotional capacity and stamina. And whatever that looks like for us as individuals, we have to know that depending on who we want to bring into our lives, what stamina they have, how they engage and relate. And we have to be able to find that middle ground and negotiate what that looks like for both of us to be healthy, right? Because it's real. Like you go out there and you people, or even if you work from home, you people. And then when it's done, you like I'm out of gas, like I ain't got nothing left, but you still have to have enough for your person or whomever you're choosing to date.
Yeah, but you know, it's hard when you're an introvert and you work in an extroverted type environment. You need to decompress and it's hard to be in a relationship like that when they want attention as soon as you walk in the door. That shit is tiring, man. That's why I'm not doing
I think
relationships.
that's boundaries though. I'm an introvert, but I think that's boundaries because when I was married, we had a rule. Like when he came in the house, because I worked from home. When he came in the house, he had an hour to decompress by himself before we talked. He'd go do what he was doing. I could be shutting down from my day, put my business to the side, clocking out, doing whatever with my clients. And then we reconvene. How's your day, sweetie? Eat them, whatever, like whatever that looked like. But, and even now, I still keep that. Like, it's a real thing. I'm telling you, I be out of gas. So the first hour, once I'm done with like business stuff, I just need to be still, look at myself, look at the wall, play with my toes, it don't matter. I don't want to talk to you. And then once I recharge a little bit, then I'm game. Let's talk. Let's engage. But also on the flip side, even if you have differing schedules, like with my ex, he had a 24-hour shift. Nigga, I don't want to talk about shit at 12 o'clock at night. I know you woke, but I was not. Like, you know what I'm saying? What? No.
Right.
See, my thing is
You have to
if I
communicate those things.
if I'm in a relationship, whatever's going. When I come in the house, look, give me a hug and a kiss. I might grab that ass, and then I'm gonna go do whatever I'm gonna do. Take a shower, relax, whatever. While you doing whatever you doing, and then I'm gonna come back with a drink, and we can sit down and talk. Or if you watching your shows, and I'm gonna go grab me a cigar and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just but as long as I get that kiss in the morning, that kiss when I come in the door, I'm good.
Yeah, nobody wants to feel like they're constantly have to be on when they're in a relationship. Like, I don't want to have to entertain your ass. I'm not your entertainment. Find you something to do.
Damn.
Yeah, that is kind of harsh because
Right? Like your person is not. I don't think that. I don't think the. Let me fix that. I don't think the emotionally stable person in a relationship is looking for anybody to be their entertainment, but depending on their personality, they may be more. You know what I'm saying? So again, that comes down to communication. Their love needs, their emotional needs are different than yours, and that comes down to communication. So the two people that decide to be together can figure out how to coexist. There are extroverts and introverts that make it work all the time. There are introverts and introverts that make it work, and extroverts and extroverts. And those are just arbitrary terms, but for the point of making the point, two grown people need to be able to communicate what their needs are.
I had somebody tell me that before when I was dating him.
That you their entertainment.
He said, "You don't even entertain me." Like, bitch, I ain't no fucking puppet. I ain't supposed to entertain you.
Okay, what was the context of this?
That's what I'm about to say. It's got to be the context that it was.
Are they coming over to your house and you ignoring them or something? Like, what's the context?
Nope, he was actually somebody I was dating. He would come over and spend days over there, but
he's in your space,
in my space, and then I'd entertain him, but sometimes I'd come home from work and he in the driveway. Why? We ain't talk about this. What the fuck are you doing here?
I mean, that's called boundaries, though, because
And the thing is that we didn't even live on the same side of town. That's part of the reason why now I don't tell no motherfucker where I live. I meet him out.
That sounds like he just didn't have no boundaries. And granted, that's a word that most people weren't talking about, 10, 15 years ago, unless they were in certain spaces of mental health or whatever. Right. Still, I remember telling a friend that in college, this guy that was trying to date me, he was like, "You at home?" Yeah. 30 minutes later, he was knocking on my door. Take your ass home. You not gonna let me in? No. You did not ask me, could you come over? So you gonna take your ass home and you gonna wait till I invite you, or you check with me first. Like,
right.
You teach people how to engage with you, right? And I made his ass turn around and go home because I don't feel like peopling. But again,
I mean, that's just I've done that just on principle. Like, it wasn't like I was doing anything. Wasn't like I was busy.
I wasn't doing that.
Popped up.
I just want to be bothered.
You know what I'm saying? You just
Jason
popped up.
Gypsy giving Thanos energy. Quentin Blake, hey, he said, "Damn, I see you pulling your inner Lucy." Do tell, what is the inner Lucy?
That's my mama.
Your mama? So okay.
That's my nephew.
That makes sense. Okay. Jasmine said, "No, I'll sit there and listen to the and have done that before too. I've looked out the lines and people have walked away. If I didn't invite you, you ain't coming in. No. Like, unless it's an emergency, my house is my sanctuary. So if I didn't ask you to come over or invite you, you ain't coming in.
I don't give a fuck if you see me sitting on the porch. If I said I ain't home, bitch, I ain't home.
I mean, especially if you just called me, you could have just been like, "Hey, I want to come through."
Right.
Listen, I live so far out that if anybody come over here, you intended to come over here. So don't you damn show up at my house talking about you was in the neighborhood.
They came to check out the banking garage sales. It's like, oh shit, Gypsy live over here.
No, for real, because I drove to Gypsy. When was that?
Right. Last Thursday or Friday, something like that.
Thursday, yeah, when I was in Virginia. I was like, damn, I'm still driving.
Right. That's so see, you see what I'm saying? So when you come out here, you intending to come out here. So that whole, I was in the neighborhood bullshit. No. No.
Jasmine said, "I'll look from the ring camera with a drink in
So
my
real.
hand. Nadina said he was homeless. He needed somewhere to stay. Y'all ain't right. Suzanne
Right.
said I've been told people saw me walking back and forth and I didn't answer the buzzer or the phone. And then Quentin
Right.
said, "Bruh, I had a blinds open."
Right. Right. Like, listen, my whole family, we like that. We don't care if you see us. We be like,
I mean, I get it because I've done the same. Boundaries are good things.
right. Yeah,
Draw my
don't
line
be
in the
coming up.
sand.
Yeah, don't be
No
just showing
popcorn
up.
visits ever, Nadina said.
Never. Yeah.
So
Don't
going
do
back
that.
to the whole vibe thing, y'all.
Even if I have a vibe with you, don't fucking show up at my house unannounced.
No, but the point that Sean was saying, the vibe is the conversation. So I'm saying, going back to the whole vibe thing, y'all, these are conversations that grown people should be having. Like, once I correct people that one time, they don't just show up again unless it's an emergency. And in that case, I'm like, okay, come in, what's going on? If they couldn't reach me on the phone, whatever. But these are conversations that grown people had to tell people how to engage with them. So at what point are we getting into relationships in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, and we not talking about this? That's the problem. Always About You said, get your feelings hurt popping up on me. Listen, especially if somebody else over there, the blanks don't answer surprise.
Show don't. We show don't. The fuck we show
Don't get
don't.
your feelings hurt popping up and seeing the wrong thing now. Quentin
Right.
said, man, and the Mormons be trying to bring on the window. Like, oh my God. Jason said your vibe might be super hot. See what I'm saying? Like,
But it don't matter. The thing is that you're right. Boundaries had not been discussed back like 15, 20. This is all new. This is all new for us, discussing boundaries and discussing mental health and things like that. Because let's just be honest, in our culture, that just wasn't there. And that's a lot of reason why we have men that don't communicate, women that are kind of like clamming up whenever they want to say something, but they're not sure how to say it, because we're used to toxic ass environments where that shit wasn't, you wasn't allowed to say what you was feeling. My mom would say, fill your ass in that kitchen and wash them dishes. You know, that was, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That was the kind of response that you would get when you would be like, trying to express yourself. So the thing is that when you're used to that, yeah.
Well, and that's the difference. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but that's the difference in what we're exposed to. So you got to think, I was having these conversations 20 years ago because I was in ministry. So I was reading books about boundaries. I was in mental health. I was reading books about boundaries. So my rule of thumb has always been, I won't accept less in my relationships than I know. Now, if I don't know a thing or understand a thing, I can't demand that. But whatever it is that I hold to be true, I have to be experiencing that, willing to give it and willing to get it.
But wait,
I understand that not everybody has been exposed to that.
Right. That was your profession, so you were exposed to that. So keep this in mind. I left my parents' house and went into the military, another toxic environment. And at the time that I went in the military, women really didn't have rights. I was one of the first women on the types of ships that I was on. I was one of the first women in the first field that I chose to go in. So come on now, like, people are acting like civil rights and women's rights were so long ago, but women weren't even allowed to really get bank accounts and stuff until the 70s.
True.
And so when you got all of that going on, we're like one generation removed from civil rights and separatism and all of those different things. So to people that say, oh, well, you should have embraced your boundaries then, and this, that, and the other. You weren't allowed to. We were getting the shit knocked out of us still. If we had corporal punishment in school. as well as your parents to come up to the school and knock your ass out.
Yeah.
But so
But
that's what I'm like, that we had toxic environments all the way around when you think about it. There were toxic environments at school, toxic environments at home, toxic environments at work.
Does that take away from people that had different experiences? Because I know people that was growing up in that day and time that was manhandling them the man, and they had multiple men, and their husband was still taking care of the household and shutting the fuck up and doing whatever she said. So I think we still have to hold space that there were outliers and extremes. Like everybody wasn't so limited as maybe some were.
Nah, but at what point do you take responsibility for yourself and make the decision to be a better person?
I mean, you take responsibility, and I'm an advocate for therapy.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that a person's going to change overnight, but at least work on yourself.
Right, exactly. I'm an advocate for therapy, and I just the thing is that it still doesn't mean that a person will know how to express their boundaries in a healthy way. Because
I think we have to be accountable to say, I don't need to be in this experience.
They may
say shit that we don't know how to handle.
Well, they may have just learned their own boundaries, if that makes sense.
Very true.
And that's true, but communication don't cost a thing.
If you haven't learned how to communicate because you always told be quiet, it does.
But again, that's still going back to Sean's point, if I'm understanding what you're trying to say, and I'm agreeing with you that at some point we can listen. I will hold my hand up. Shit, is it on camera? God damn it. Okay, here we go. I will hold my hand up and say I was one of those kids that, first of all, I was forced to talk because I was always extremely introverted. I didn't want to be bothered with all that loud shit the adults were doing. So I was always being pulled out of my bedroom and being made to talk and parade for the adults and be the sweet grandbaby or the sweet daughter or the cousin or the niece or the whatever, right? And then once I came out of my shell and started talking, then it was like, damn, don't you ever shut up? So I can hold my hand and say, been there on both sides, right? That being said, as a 45-year-old woman, I cannot say, well, when I was a kid, they never let me talk. Or when I was a kid, I was so shy and introverted that. Or I was so shy and quiet that. Or I was nervous. Because at some point, we have to be accountable to figuring out what it is that we need. And if we don't know, ask some motherfucking questions. And I say this with all respect. I say this with all compassion. There are some people that have been through some experiences that are so emotionally shut down, they don't know how. And I understand that. That is where therapy has its role. That is where safe spaces have their role. Right. For the purpose of this, for the average person watching our show that talk a little shit and be feeling themselves, if you feeling yourself like that, you have no excuse to not be getting help and either getting your ass in therapy, bringing that relationship to an end if you feel like you don't know how to navigate it in healthy ways or it doesn't meet your needs. Or if you're going to stay in it, figure that shit out and make it better. I'm so emotionally exhausted with the level of immaturity that we as adults are always displaying and then wanting other people to fix our shit. It's like, at what point do we decide we want to do better for us? Not for the culture, not for the gram, not for fucking social media, not for anybody else watching, but for the simple fact that we want to feel better in our own lived experience. And I'm sorry if that sounds a little harsh.
Well, and the other thing is that stop trying to be in a relationship because society says you should.
That's true. That is true.
Like, I'm all done with that shit. I don't I'm trying to be.
No, I'm not gonna say give up on it, but at the same time, what I am saying is don't just blindly pursue it because you feel like that's what society says you should be in a relationship.
that you should be
Fuck that.
coupled up. That if you're
Like,
not coupled up, that something's wrong with you. You know what? No, something might be wrong with you for being coupled up with this toxic ass dude that you don't want to be with,
or woman.
or
Yeah.
or something's wrong with you for being with somebody because you can't afford to live by yourself. You ain't in a relationship. You got a roommate.
I mean, that's a valid point.
I mean, that is true. That does happen a lot.
Some people are with somebody because they can't afford to be by themselves. Like for real. Like you are not in a relationship. You a fucking prisoner because you can't afford to leave.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yep. I can't say nothing, but you. I mean, it's valid. Like
I mean,
these
it
are this
is.
is where conversation come in. Listen, why don't we go half on this rent and split these bills, or I get the bigger bedroom and I pay 60%,
Right.
you pay 40%, and just coexist and cohabitate. That don't mean we got to be fuck buddies. That don't mean we got to be fun buddies. That don't mean we got to be in a relationship and do anything other than be friends. But I think a lot of people are afraid to explore that and have that type of conversation, or maybe don't trust themselves in that type of situation.
Shit, at that
And
point, you gotta talk to them.
Well, it goes back to what Nadina said earlier when she was talking about he was homeless, needed somewhere to stay. Some people get involved in relationships because of that.
Very true.
Because they need somewhere to stay. You know what? I'm very hesitant to be bothered with somebody that don't seem to have a break between relationships.
Oh yeah.
Because if you don't have a break between relationships, then you're just looking for the next place to stay.
And not even that, maybe they got their own stuff, but they're looking for the next person to make them feel better and get that emotional high because they're not ready to do the work or face themselves.
Either way, they're looking for some sort of crutch. And I ain't no damn crutch. You're gonna be limping if you're looking for me to be a crutch.
But it does sound like your heart has been blackened and hardened.
Don't it though? She sound like Maleficent over here.
I might be the Grinch then. 2 sizes too small. Fuck it.
Oh my God. With that being said, commercial break reminder, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you grab that link and share this video, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you will be notified every time we go live and we have new goodies for you.
So okay, so let the comments go back and catch up on these comments because I want to catch up on these comments.
Wait a minute, I gotta scroll back up. Hold on. Jasmine said we're all a little fucked up, some more than others. It's all about how you manage. Quentin said, okay, but once you establish it, you can't keep clamming up and shit. Get it out. Say what the hell wrong. Facts. That goes back to what Sean started off. Like, you can't keep bringing it up later if you say that you let it go, right? Jasmine said, for real, Quentin, because I'm not about to figure out what figure it out with you. Tell me so I can know. Susan, in my lucid voice, read.
Yep.
Or seek therapy to not repeat what you have experienced. See that part. Jason said, well, I was a nosy kid, was told all the time, Jason, go in the other room.
And you
I don't got time for folks' problems. I got my own. Listen, I ain't volunteering to carry nobody else's baggage.
Okay, but see, so going back to what he said about keep clamming up, again, if you got somebody who was always told not to talk about their feelings and things like that, they may be scared to say something, not because of you, but because of their experiences and stuff. And so,
but at what point?
I'm not making excuses for them. Yeah, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying, like,
But see, this is the thing, though, and once you become an adult on your own, living life, you have to make certain decisions, and you have to understand that you got to constantly change your thought process because life be lifing, shit be happening.
Yeah,
and you got to keep up with it. But if you stay stuck in a certain mode of thinking, 9 times out of 10, at the end of the day, you're not gonna be happy. No matter
Well,
what it is, even
if you're looking for somebody else to make you happy, you'll
no,
never
no,
be
no, no,
happy.
no, 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 no. See, I didn't finish my thought. But what I
Mm,
was saying was,
all
even
right.
if even if you choose that, hey, I'm gonna rock out by myself because
Okay.
I don't need nobody else. You still not gonna be happy if you don't change your thought process.
Facts.
You just gonna be lonely instead of being with somebody and be miserable. You're gonna be lonely and be miserable, and that's just what it is. If you don't change your thought process, so that's why when like look, like I tell everybody, like, yo, everybody been hurt, everybody been cheated on, everybody. Ain't nobody ain't never been cheated on a day in their life. Adam fucked around and cheated on Eve. Trust me.
With
Men are
what? The
weak.
fucking snake?
With
Oh,
with no with one of their kids. I mean, because they both had they fuck their kids in order to make more people because it was just them two.
ooh.
Ain't with y'all.
I'm just saying, like it don't the math ain't mathing.
I'm
If there was
agreeing with
one
you,
man
Sean.
and one woman and they
I'm
had
agreeing with
kids,
you, but Gypsy come out. Did he fuck the snake? Come on now.
I mean, Eve didn't even fuck the snake. She just ate the apple and shit.
That's what you say.
I'm just saying, So I mean,
We not going there today, y'all. We not going into
hey,
the
and
religious thing today.
I hate talking religion, and I'm sorry I brought that up because I know I'm gonna get canceled after that. But anyway, you know, it is what it is, man. Look, at the end of the day, no matter what heartache, what pain, because we all done had our and some when you going through it, you feel like this is the worst shit in the world, and nobody has felt this shit. But no, trust me, there are mad people that have felt that heartache and that pain. It may not be the same thing, but they
Yeah.
felt the same way when they were going through whatever they were going through.
Yep.
But you have to be mature enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to let that affect me going forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, and maybe I am pessimistic. Maybe I'm optimistic. I don't fucking know. I look at it both ways.
Okay.
I mean,
Sometimes
I
it's
tend
half
to agree
full,
with you.
sometimes it's half empty. It
And
just depends on
sometimes
how
she ain't shit in the glass.
and it depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it ain't shit in that glass, I'm gonna make sure at least it's gonna get something in that glass. God damn it!
Something to
And
drink.
that's just me.
Um, Jasmine said this adulting shit is Suzette, take me out. I ain't asked to be here. And then Quentin said, exactly, it's your life at the end of the day. Jasmine said, I'll be lonely with a dog. See,
See?
this is all I'm saying. I am not hard-hearted against people going through struggles, right? There are some people that have been through some things that they may never completely heal from before they leave this earth. I don't think that healing is a finite place that you get to. It is a journey that we're walking out every single day, right? But that being said, we have the responsibility, I believe, as adults to start working through our things. Whether it
Right.
is some bullshit that we went through because of our caregivers or our parents or growing up in our culture or our community, whether it's some fuck shit that we put ourselves through in our adulthood. And unfortunately and sadly, even if there were things well beyond our control, like abuse and violence and other things, we still have to take the responsibility to give ourselves every opportunity to figure out how to move through that, because we
Right.
can't bleed all over people and then get upset with people when they no longer want to be fucking bled on, right? We don't have the right to hurt other people because we're hurting. And I think, to sum up what I'm saying, that's really where it comes back for me, is we don't have the right to hurt people because we've been fucking hurt. Like, at some point we have to decide, maybe I need to be solo for a while because I need the opportunity to figure some shit out. And if that means I got to be lonely for a minute, I got to be lonely so that I can navigate through this and figure out how I feel, what I need, what I think, what I want, and then be able to adequately express that to somebody that I want to be with. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
And we prevent a lot of bullshit if we take that approach instead of just jumping into the next thing, expecting to feel better with the next person. Like Gypsy said, never taking a break. What are we
Right.
talking about, Suzette? Zeus? I done missed it. What
That
is it?
Zeus
Yeah,
is Zeus is Jazzy's dog.
yeah.
Oh, hey Zeus. He's cuddled up with me right now. Oh, my
What
Hellcat's downstairs. Jasmine said, "Listen to the sound of silence." I
what
mean,
kind of dog is
sometimes we
he,
have to.
Jasmine? I was saying, what kind of dog is he, Jasmine? With a name like Zeus, I'm thinking he a big dog, huh?
He's a pretty big dog and he's black.
Oh.
Well, black don't crack, and you know.
Nope.
So, what other vibes were you wanting to throw in the pot when it comes to the conversations that you feel like we should be having, Sean? Jasmine said he's a pit boxer
He's a
mix.
pit boxer,
Oh,
okay.
he sounds adorable.
Yeah, that's a little difficult. I mean, the pit side is cool, but the boxer side, because boxers are hard to train.
He's not.
But okay, cool. As long as he's not hard to train. But I mean, as long as you firm, and so, because I
She
know you come from that Blake bloodline. I know you probably ain't had no problems breaking that nigga down.
she beat his ass. She beat his
Now,
ass.
actually, if you do it right, you only gotta beat their ass. You know what I'm
and,
saying? Because like the
and be an
last pit,
unshort asshole.
the last pit I
That's why I
had,
like all these
know,
damn dogs.
when I
Yeah.
trained him up from a puppy. So I started out with a roll of newspaper when you go to bathroom on the floor or whatever. But after that, I can have the littlest slip of paper, and I'm not even hitting him, but I just have it. And he
Oh
do like,
damn.
oh, let me get my shit together. Let me get my shit together.
This
Oh
is what I got
Lord.
for my babies.
But now, I mean,
Paint
damn, what's that, a
stirrer.
ruler or a
It's a
paint
paint
stirrer?
stirrer.
I
I ain't
feel like,
even got to
goddamn.
say. I ain't got to say nothing. I just tap it on the desk and then yeah.
And they oh, 10 hut.
That's what they like to. They like to run off. They go down the trail without anybody, and they supposed to just go to the bathroom in the yard. And
Yeah,
sometimes they sneak down the trail. And when they sneak down the trail, I be waiting on their ass. I close all the doors, and they got to pass me to get in.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yep, that's how your mom used to do when you home late coming home.
Oh nah, man, look, I had too many
He
ways
knows
to
when
sneak
he's
in
in
the
the wrong
house.
for 6 months.
She she could be waiting in the living room. You ain't gonna see me. I climb up through my bedroom window, be in the bed. I had too many ways.
Did that bring back memories the way you were shimmying just then,
I'm
Sean?
just saying, like, cause I'm like, yeah, like, nope, my mom ain't never catch me. Nope, she ain't never catch me.
Wow.
But
God.
now, I mean, when I say the vibe, is the overall feeling within the relationship. Because, like, yo, if you got a problem, talk to me. Now, granted, I'm not. I know it's kind of crazy, right? But like, I'll have a conversation, but I really don't like to talk. Like, I'm an introvert and an extrovert. Like, I
An
could be in the
introvert.
house.
I get it.
No. Listen, I could be in the house all day long and not give a fuck and have fun by my goddamn self. But then you put me in a party, I'm the life of the party. Shit, we here. Let's turn it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I can move in any circle. I love the
And
orchestra. I don't really fuck with the opera because it just be too much singing. But I love the orchestra. But shit, I'll hit the club up. Shit, you want to hit the club? Let's go to the club. Shit, you want to go to strip clubs? And I don't even like strippers.
mm,
I won't get no lap. I'll buy other niggas lap dances. Like, get that nigga lap dance. You know what I'm saying? But it's
mm,
just having fun.
right.
So I can move in any circle. But at the same time, what I prefer to do, yeah, I prefer to be at home, chilling, relaxing. That's just what I prefer to do.
Well,
And it,
really doesn't it come down to just needing the different spaces to express ourselves?
I mean, it does, but at the same time, if you're a certain type of person, A, let me know that. B, don't judge me because I never judge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not my place to. I'm not God.
Yeah. Excuse me. Well, like
So
Suzette said, communication is the number one issue in most relationships, right? And the reason
exactly.
I'm saying I think it just comes down to, figuring it out is because, like I said, introvert, extrovert, ambivert, these are just arbitrary labels. These are just characteristics that we're describing about ourselves, right?
Right.
Um, the same as if we take any other personality test and we throw out the labels that it gives us. And it's just a way to start the conversation because every extrovert is slightly different, every introvert is slightly different, every INFJ is slightly different, and the anagrams and all this other stuff that we have out here. Every person is going to display it differently. Like when we talk about zodiacs, there are some things that overlap for the average person, and then we all still share those personality traits differently too. So at the end of the day, I think it still comes back to the response for me. It comes back to the responsibility and the accountability to be able to communicate what we need. When I'm in my professional space and I'm doing a training or a workshop or some mentoring or something with somebody, my personality is very different based on the space I'm in and who I'm engaging with. When I am working in my wellness practice with a client, um my personality is still slightly different. When I'm talking to a customer from from my crystal shop, my personality is slightly different. When I'm hanging out with my girlfriends, my personality is slightly different. When I'm with the boo, whoever that's going to be, my personality is like, we have these layers to ourselves. And I think that's the disservice that a lot of times we do it to ourselves, is we don't explore those layers and we
And I
don't allow ourselves to express and explore the different parts that need to come out in different circumstances, in different contexts, in different experiences, for different people, for different needs, different parts in our lives. Like all of these things serve a purpose, but most people try to stay monotone and behave in a certain way to be more palatable to the most people, and they end up ignoring themselves. We've all done it. We've all been there. But at some point, we have to recognize it and be willing to put forth the effort to change it and do something different.
and that's my point because in life, yeah, you play many roles, but
Multitasking.
when you're in a relationship, that's when you should be able to be free to be yourself.
Facts.
Right.
Because if
I
I
know.
can't be me, baby, you can't have me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
Think
sure.
about how miserable that is for people. You got to button it up. I would probably just pass out if I had to stay as buttoned up as I have to in some corporate spaces and then be that same buttoned up version of myself in my personal space. Like I just couldn't take it. I just gonna give up the ghost. Jesus, take me home. Listen, I'll be somebody ghetto fabulous auntie in spirit. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? How
Right.
miserable is that when you're constantly holding your breath? And that's why I'm challenging people, like, think through what you're costing yourself. If this is how you're living, I'm not judging you. You're probably doing the best you know how to do to survive. But is that the way that you want to continue to live? Because that's surviving, not thriving when you can't be yourself. If you have
Right.
chosen a man or a woman or multiple people in your life, family, because sometimes it's not the romantic relationship, sometimes it's the familial relationships that we have that keep us buttoned up and keep us prim and proper. If you are living your life for everybody else, baby, they're gonna be dead and gone, reminiscing about all the fuck shit they did, and
Woo!
you're gonna be mad about all the stuff you missed out on.
Suzette just told me that.
Mm,
I mean, it is.
mm.
Yep.
They're gonna have lived their life, because the same people that's judging you out there doing all the stuff they telling you not to do most often, so they will have lived their life and gone to hell, heaven, in the middle, ether, wherever they at, whatever they believed in. They will have lived their life, and you will have died miserable because you were living for them and somebody else.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, whoo, I have pissed off family members because I've been myself since for a very long time. Like I got to a certain age, and I think it was around about 16, when I'm like, yo, fuck that. I'm gonna be me.
Yeah.
And either you gonna love me or you gonna hate me, I don't give a fuck. So yeah, I've pissed off family members. I pissed off quote unquote friends. Now my real niggas, they ride with me. They understand who I am. Like, yeah, nigga, you an asshole. But yeah, I'm an asshole too. So we fuck with each other. We with each other. So it's like, okay, cool. But like at the end of the day, don't bother yourself up. Don't pin shit up. Don't hold shit inside. If something bothers you, let that shit be known. And
Yeah.
if that other person can't handle it, they not the one for you.
They are not worthy of thee.
And that's it.
And
What
that's
other
the thing is folks need to stop thinking that it's two halves make a whole because it's actually, two whole people to come together to be, one. It's not
Mhm.
two halves make a whole. And so if you're
Yeah,
looking for somebody to plug up a hole in you, then you're never gonna be you're never gonna be happy.
No, and that's a good point because that's that. A lot of people do look for people to fill that void in them, and that's why they never reach happiness because they keep trying to find. And it's like, no, you had to fill that yourself,
Yeah.
and only then can you find somebody that you could, for lack of a better word, harmonically be with.
mhm, absolutely.
Yep.
Sue, no, I'm sorry. Nadina said, yes, for a relationship to succeed, both people need to be 100 who you are. Absolutely. But think about all these. I think this is why a lot of long-term marriages end. Now, I think there's something to it. If you get married at a young age, some people grow together. They're able to navigate that a little bit easier than other people who grow so
Mhm.
completely separately and far apart that they don't feel like they can navigate it together. But I think that's a reason that a lot of long-term relationships end. People get tired of holding their breath and they get 20, 30 years in it and realize, damn, I have lived the bulk of my life holding my breath and being uncomfortable. Now I want to go be free. And this is why they start wilding out and doing all kind of craziness because they never allowed themselves to just be authentic before.
And it's like, why do that? Why not just be real from the beginning?
Because sometimes people are afraid that if they knew the real them, they would be alone.
That too.
Look, I'd rather be alone because there is nothing more priceless than my peace of mind.
Some people don't like to be alone.
I
But
love me.
you know what?
Man,
Let me tell you something.
shit.
I have a saying about that. If you don't like you, why the fuck should anybody else?
Yeah.
Because if you don't
Just
enjoy your own company, why should anybody else want to be bothered with you?
exactly. And if you, yeah, and that's why, because like I can't, I can have fun with myself all day long,
Me too.
and I can do a million different things, and I'm still having fun, whether I'm working on a business plan, researching something, or just looking at some dumb shit online, having fun laughing.
Laughing by myself, just laughing.
I'm just having fun, enjoying
Right.
myself in my own company. Now, granted, I think it's probably like that because when I was a kid, I used to spend hours playing with my GI Joes. So maybe that got something to do with it. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I guess you gotta have imagination. I guess that's my point. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's that I used to get lost in books when I was a
Well,
kid. And
man, my
yeah.
favorite books when I was a kid was the Choose Your Own Adventure. That was my shit, and
Mhm.
I would read it like because each of them had like three different paths you could take. So I would read
Right.
each book three times and take each path to see how it ended up each time.
Right.
So maybe
I
that was I
mean,
don't know.
so I guess I don't know. I'm turning 55 this year, y'all. I'm so excited. And I'm gonna tell you, um, it's something about that other side of 50. You realize you got more time behind you than you got in front of you. And you kind of like you say later for the dumb shit. Like
Mhm.
seriously. It's like later for the dumb shit. Like I'm not putting up with it. Like go
I
ahead.
ain't bullshitting. Yeah, nah. Cause I mean, like, yeah, like, look, you know, when I was a kid in my 20s, yeah, I fucked around. I did some shit. In my 30s, I kind of got more grounded and was, focused on life. In my 40s, I was adulting, which is some bullshit, but you gotta do that shit.
And it's some bullshit for real.
Right.
Now that I'm 50, I'll be 51 this year. I'm like, shit, okay. I'm just relaxing. I mean, I still gotta work and pay bills, but I ain't letting shit stress me because fuck that. I'm not dying early. And
Feel
that's
you
how
on
you
that.
gotta look at life.
I just refuse to let anybody have that much control over my ability to thrive or be happy or be at peace with myself, in my life, in my skin. Like we all have had the experience where we didn't know ourselves. You can't know
Right.
yourself until you learn, until you experiment, until you mess up, you fall, you get back up, right? So we've
Right.
all been there, done that with experiences that we look back and think, now throw my hand up there and say, I've had some experiences with people I dated briefly that I look back and be like, girl, you was going through some shit. Cause what the fuck?
Right.
I mean, we've all got that, right? But we
Right.
learn and we do better. Just because we know things don't mean we always get it right. I mean, there are plenty of
Right.
therapists, counselors, doctors, physicians, and whoever else experts getting divorced every single day, struggling every single day. So I don't want to paint this standard of this inattainable perfection because that's not it either. Life is messy, but I just do believe that we got to be willing to bet on self. I always say, and I always tell people around me, I will always be willing to bet on myself. That is the place I've gotten to in my life. If I don't bet on nobody, and if I can't count on nobody, I will always be willing to bet on myself. So that means I gotta let somebody go, whether it's a friend, a man, a family member, whoever, in order for me to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm
Right.
betting on me that I'm gonna figure it out and find what I need. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people stay in relationships because they're afraid, what if I don't find somebody else? What if I don't get something else? What if I end up by myself? Well, I'm willing to check out the what if because I'd rather be single and happy than paired up and miserable. I'd rather be away from
Ooh, that
family than to
part.
be with family and be miserable, right? Like nobody in this life is worth my peace or my happiness or my well-being.
And that's why I always say I got two hands. They both work very well. Until they be, acceptable men set. Because I don't think nothing out there is acceptable. But you know,
I mean, I
I
was hearing
mean,
these ladies talk about the pocket thingy, like it be really working. Not, it's not a pocket key. It's
what the
something else like a little
fleshlight?
slime. No, it's like a little slime thingy that's like a little gelatin looking little thingy that slides
I
off.
know what you talking about, but that shit look kind of crazy. I don't know.
They,
So
man, listen, it was a whole post in
maybe,
that group. They was going in on it. You might want to check that out. But
maybe I might try it. But
the
also, I know
ladies
they
was
got
talking about
this
they
this.
fishing for the mans and doing all the things.
Okay, all right. I might want to look at it, but I don't.
Listen,
It's still because it's like a sleeve. It's like,
yeah,
man.
exactly. This lady, I saw this video where she was demonstrating. I was like,
Mm.
I mean, the ladies was getting deep with it. They say it be doing the thing that it needs to be doing.
Oh,
So
well.
Okay,
I'm
okay. I
just
mean,
saying.
I don't. I just look at it like, I mean, that's not. I can't knock it till I try it. That's all I can say.
Don't mess
I'm
around
just
and get
saying.
hooked. Then don't want the real thing because you done got hooked.
Uh,
Ain't nothing
I
like the
mean, I
real
think you got to
thing.
really be abusing it to feel
I mean,
like that.
all I'm saying ain't that like the real thing. Because I mean, like women had
Yeah,
toys, but they want the real. They don't want. They ain't like, oh, I got this toy, I'm good. They like, I want
man,
the real thing. Like,
I
come
ain't met
on,
a
dad.
toy yet that could replace me desiring the real thing. Like I ain't met it. And I ain't saying I tried a whole lot because I recognize I probably have not in the grand scheme of things. But the few I've tried, nope, will never ever replace the real thing. Ever.
Gypsy look, Gypsy look like, shit. You just don't know, girl. Look at her face.
See, when I was in my 20s and I had plenty of audacity, I'd be like, I got my vibe, baby. I'm good. Now that I have lived a little bit more, nope. Mm-mm. Now that I have experienced, the deeper depths of pleasure and passion and just safely, like being loved on and romance, nope, I ain't met it. Nope. You'll never catch me saying that. I'm just saying, I can't speak for everybody, but you'll never catch me saying that. Nope.
I'm. I ain't trying to get graphic on yo. I'm just saying I need a woman. I don't need because like that, and that's why I say ain't no suitable shit. I mean, but now they do to make those lifelike sex dolls. Now I ain't got $6,000 to buy one of those, so I'm not getting one. But I could probably see a dude having one of those and being like, I don't need no woman. But other than that,
Nope. I don't even want it. I ain't even gonna lie.
oh,
Even if I wanted to spend the $6,000 on it, I ain't. Because to me, there's just something so beautiful and freeing about being able to explore yourself with your person. Like, you know what I'm saying? That to me can't be replaced by a doll or a robot or a toy. And I don't knock it. There are plenty of people out there that never
no,
want to have
I
sex,
mean, hey, do
but
you?
you know,
Well, let me
nope.
get you off because they are. I did hear they are coming with those real real sex robots, not just the machine, but they coming like with real sex robots sometime soon. I heard that shit somewhere, and I'm like, that's crazy. I
That
don't
is so
know.
crazy.
I don't know why somebody would do that because fuck that. I don't want no robot around me.
Mm-mm.
Because
Fuck around and get
especially
electrocuted.
shit, unless you that motherfucker just kill you and shit.
The robot get jealous and no,
Exactly.
no, no.
Like, why did you say hi to the male woman, you cheating nigger, and kill you and shit?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
oh my god.
Well,
Listen, no. Like I said, I don't knock it. I know plenty of women that are fulfilled in their lesbian relationships or you know,
Hey,
their their different experiences. So I don't knock it. There are some women that don't want to sleep with a man. I respect it. For me, being a heterosexual woman, that I prefer, men. I in my limited experience with toys, I've not met anything that just made me feel like I ain't never got to have a man again.
but so this is, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but this is my one question. Like for lesbian couples, the ones that use strap-ons. Now, if y'all just enjoying each other's scissoring, licking it, whatever, that's cool. But if
Right.
y'all using a strap on, at that point, it's like it seemed like you want a man because
that part.
why are you using a strap on? And that's just a question. I just want to know. I'm just curious.
So actually, I'm gonna try to figure out who I would like to ask about that because I had a conversation with a guy recently where he was telling me he has some lesbian friends in California, something, and like a whole community of them were telling him if they use strap-ons and toys, they're not really lesbian, they're bisexual. And I was like, I've had lesbian clients that didn't make that distinction before. I don't know because that's not my lane, right? But based on what's been shared with me through the years, I had never heard anyone make that distinction like that, where you're not truly lesbian if, or you're only lesbian if you don't. I was like, that's not true. And he was like, but that's what they said. And I was like, is that certain communities and certain locations? Like I want to dig a little bit deeper into that because I mean I think that's part of the nuance that we have to consider as well. Like I said, I don't knock it. There are plenty of people that want to be that want to be celibate. There are plenty of people that consider themselves to be asexual. There are plenty of people that they may have somewhat of a sexual appetite that's very limited or sporadic, few and far in between. Everything is different. But for me, I consider myself to have a healthy sexual appetite. I don't see me not wanting to experience it with a partner. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's all a part of us getting to know ourselves and being able to acknowledge what we need. Like I ain't gonna sit here and fake it and be like toys got me for the rest of my life because that would be a whole lie. But I'm not gonna say I'm spiritually evolved to the point that I want to be celibate for years or for the rest of my life because I know some people preach that as well. Where if you're truly spiritual and you're going for enlightenment, you're going to be celibate. I've been celibate for 9 years and I've been celibate for 20 years or 3 years. And I'm like, good on you, but you don't have a right to tell somebody that their
A
journey
lot
has to
of them
look
are
like that.
celibate because they don't have a choice. You ever
See,
seen some of them
that,
mud that be talking about they celibate. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that my outside voice?
That
I
was
knew
your
Oh,
exactly.
whole outside
I
voice.
knew.
Why you yelling?
I knew exactly where she was going when she said that. But anyway, see to so, and this is my thing also because with celibacy, to me, celibacy means you ain't doing shit. So
Mm,
right.
you're not masturbating, you're not doing nothing.
Nope.
yeah.
Nothing.
So
That's
you mean to
yep.
tell me that you ain't masturbated in 20 years? If you ain't you crazy. You
But some people
crazy.
feel like that's the only way for them to be spiritually enlightened and in tuned and healed. Well, I'm like, well, good on
And
you.
you crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. You crazy. You ain't even masturbate. I mean, it's one thing to have sex, but it's something totally different not to release. You gotta, because if you don't release, you're gonna go crazy.
Well, you
Yep.
know, there's some people that start preaching the scripture that a man should not let his seed fall to the ground. And then there's
And
some
you
people
don't.
that
You catch it in something, in a sock, a napkin, something. You don't let it fall to the ground. You catch it.
there are some
Shit.
people that believe
Woo.
that, you know, masturbation is nasty or is evil, you know.
Okay.
Not
And
me, but
that's why you sit there and you go crazy because you sit there thinking that dumb shit.
Nadina said nothing beats the real thing beyond the physical and actual touch, the emotional connection. No toy can do that. See, that's all I'm saying, girl. Listen, I'm with you when you're right. With that being said, before we bring this spectacular conversation to a close, is there anything else you would like to throw out there, Gypsy or Sean?
Nope. I just drink my water and mind my business this week.
Okay.
I drank all mine.
Yep.
Why has
Drink
it been my response every time somebody asks me what I'm doing this week? I said drinking my water and minding my business.
that part.
You got to stay hydrated because it makes the intimacy even better. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and make sure that you click that link and grab it to share to the people that you love. Because if you're not sharing, do you even really like them? Is all I'm saying.
And watch our replays. For those of you who are
Yeah.
just now joining us, you just found us or whatever, go and watch some of our older episodes. Help us push our platform up to the top of the feed.
Yes.
We would really appreciate it. And come and join us again next week. We'll try to put the topic out a little bit early so y'all just check and see.
It's been out there since last week.
I mean, now I
You
know.
just didn't know.
Listen, listen. I'm trying to get the people to write into the chat box to
They don't
us.
want to behave. I've decided this. They don't
Yeah.
want
I
to act
mean,
right. They be sending shit at the
look,
last minute and asking the same question 50, 11 times that we done talked
Go
about in all
watch
the
the
replays.
replays because I remember one time we had a whole episode of Get to Know Us and
Yeah.
we answered a lot of questions. Go find it.
but
Listen, y'all know what y'all really need to do when y'all be, because y'all know how we used to do. They put the Luther on, the Anita Franklin, I'm shit. The God damn it, Anita
Need a
Baker
baker.
and Aretha Franklin. That did not want to come out right. You know,
Yeah,
y'all know how Mama used to do when it was time to clean. So what you need to do when you getting ready to clean is pull up our
podcast.
channel and play them replays, baby. Put it on that Bluetooth speaker on that TV. Let it play.
Yep. You don't
Get
always
it.
have to see us. You can actually just listen. Because that's what a lot of times I go back and listen to old episodes because when we're in the midst of it, sometimes we don't really know what all happened and it'd be funny. So
that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
A
So
lot
But
of times I listen and I be like, damn, that was good.
right.
Yeah.
I listened to
hey,
a few episodes
hey,
during the day. Yep.
sharing is caring. So share,
Absolutely.
share.
Look, Sean, you
Absolutely.
got to do your thing. Is your cup empty yet?
It's not empty yet, but I mean, I could empty
Oh,
it, but it's
for the
moonshine, so
night.
I ain't gonna do that. It's moon. Look, you gotta know how to drink. This is moonshine. Trust me.
Oh yeah, that is moonshine.
I've been sipping. You know, this is moonshine. You can't go hard with.
I
You
No,
go
you
forgot,
hard
can't
with.
go hard with
forgot
that.
that you was
You go
drinking.
hard with moonshine. You gonna wake up in the jail cell, butt ass naked. Like, what the fuck happened? You can't do that. You can't.
Look,
You gotta
normally
take
at
your
the end
time.
time, be like, it's
Oh
empty, y'all.
yeah,
It's
that's.
time to go.
I be drinking some regular shit like some vodka, some bourbon. This is moonshine. Nope,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not doing that. I be on here, be like, what is love? You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing all that. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Y'all not gonna catch me like that. Not online.
And with that, good people, we bid
Mm-mm.
you adieu, and we will see you next Monday at 6. Bye bye.
Bye.